Hi, Joe Cerrone.
And Alan Rosa.
Welcome to CAD 116 Basic AutoCAD in our weekly Zoom classroom meeting. Alrighty, so as we look at the screen, this is our D2L course management software. D2L stands for Desire to Learn, and what you'll see here is the announcements in the main splash page. And so in the title, I'm Joe. Al, you just met. We sent an orientation meeting welcome last week. You can view that right here. If you click on it, it goes through some of the course policy and procedures. We'll hold our weekly Zoom classroom meeting on Tuesdays starting at the same time, and so we'll start these at 9 a.m. Typically they go for an hour or less. It just depends on whether or not students have questions and want us to go through and demonstrate things. We'll use the same link every week, and then we'll plan to cover a module per week. We've color-coded the outline, so as you start to work and look at things that are different colors, like, and I'll come back to that in a minute, because this one should be a different color. But as we look at it, you'll need the AutoCAD software, or you will be able to come in and get that. And so to get the AutoCAD software, you can download it. The textbook is located right here. And so we're using AutoCAD 2023. You can use an older textbook. It's not a bad price. You can get it used. Looks like used is more than new. But if you look back, the 2022 isn't much different. And so we accept that. You can go back to 2020 if you need to. Here's the installation instructions. And so to install the software, we install it from students.autodesk.com. And we like to make these videos because it's a little easier to understand. So here, this video has closed captioning. If I play a little bit of it. Okay, in this video I'm going to show how to... I walk you through how to install the software. And we use the same software for other courses, and so I think I might talk about CAD 134, but it's the same installation. And so you go to the student website, and you need to create an account. And when you create an account, use your Oakton email. And so it would have a .edu on that. And so here's the instructions for that. And we basically go through and show you how to work with the verification. And what's really nice about having the website is that you get all of the softwares. And so you can work with AutoCAD for Windows. If you work with the Mac version, it does look a little bit different, and the videos are made with the Windows version because that's what we have for our tools at the college. But it's still quite workable. And then you can also download these other softwares, and so you can get a number of different programs like Fusion or Revit. They used to charge $250 a piece for these softwares, so it's really a good benefit. Continuing. So that's our textbook. We're going to be using the AutoCAD 2023, and we use that textbook throughout the AutoCAD certification. So CAD 116, 17, and 118. And it's a great book because it really gets into the nuts and bolts and the details of things. We have a reference book for people who like to do additional work. This is a very good book, AutoCAD 2022 tutorials, and it's kind of a step-by-step way to take people through creating these different drawings. As this is an online asynchronous course, we realize that sometimes people like to talk to a person or be in person, and so we have the broadcast, which we're doing remotely on Tuesdays. So Tuesdays will be online starting at 9 a.m. And it's the same link. This is the same link that we have up in our Zoom announcements. And then Thursdays, you can request Zoom meetings. So our virtual days are Tuesdays and Thursdays. So you can work from home and request a meeting from home via Zoom. In person is on Monday, and we also have Saturday and Sunday that we're there. And so we'll add some additional time if you would like to come out at the Skokie campus in room P130 and P132. And if you need to get a hold of us for a meeting, use the D2L email, jcirone@d2l@oakton.edu, and you would just click in this message alert right here, and we'll get a little orange bubble that'll tell us that we need to reply to your email. Alright, so that's the main welcoming splash page. One other thing in here is that we have the calendar of events, and so we'll put due dates for things, and we'll talk about that as we progress. But as we work on the assignments for this chapter or for this course, we'll have a module 0 and a module 1 which will have assignments. And in the module 0, as we look at it, we have the course set up in what's called modules, and that'll be due on Sunday at 11:59. And it's just a pretest that asks you why you're taking the course and some of your experience, but we need that to show that you've accessed the course. So being an online course, you want to access and turn in an assignment the first week to remain in the course. And so that will be due on Sunday at 11:59. And then the following week, the first CAD drawing is due. And so there's enough time for you to get the software up and running. As we take a look at the other areas, so here's our main splash page where we'll put weekly announcements, we'll put YouTube videos, show you how to download the software, talk about the textbook, and put in our announcement about our splash page, as well as our due dates here on the right. And then as we start to navigate the course, content is where we put things like assignments, and so we have different modules. Here's our overview, and we're going to just work our content area from the top left to the bottom. And it's the same information that we talked about. We just want people to be organized. Here's our Zoom link, our textbook, course information, office hours. Like I said, I'm around on Saturdays and Sundays as well, and so I wanted to make people aware of that if they want to come in and do some work.
Also on Sunday we are both there on there for we have a class that starts at 9 o'clock and ends at 12:45 in the area. So
that's right. Sundays are a day that Elle and I like to work on the weekends because we realize everybody else is working during the week, and so you can come in on Sunday in person, 9 o'clock in room P132 or P131. They're right next to each other. Alright, continuing. Syllabus. So this is CAD 116 Basic AutoCAD, and it's no prerequisites for the course. A first course in drafting and design, and it's basically a general design course. As we work with architectural and engineering applications, we'll use the computer to draw and plot architectural and engineering plans, elevations, and three-dimensional views. And so we cover how to set up a drawing electronically, editing, construction techniques, display commanding, layering, dimensioning, using blocks. And our learning objectives are to be able to use the computer to draw these plans like we just talked about, analyze and solve problems. Academic integrity, if you have problems, do your own work. We really don't have too many issues with this, but it's always better not to. As far as if you are late with an assignment or have some problems with it, request an extension. Outline of topics, we'll cover that shortly. We'll be using online tutorials and readings from the textbook, video tutorials focusing on solutions of problems. So essentially we use the textbook to guide the course. We go through chapter by chapter. But CAD is kind of a hands-on workshop type thing that is best demonstrated live, like with video. And so we'll make videos and we'll use the book to organize the content. And so we'll have drawing labs in each module, and then we'll have a quiz to assess your knowledge of those modules or of those chapters, and then we'll show you how to submit those drawings to the assignments folder in D2L. So again, that's our textbook. Straight grading scale 90, 80, 70, A, B, and C. Late assignments can be assessed up to 10% late. We typically allow students to turn them in late, so it's not bad to turn them in late. You still get credit for it, but to be fair, you may lose a point or two from that. And then some other things as far as support for students for accessibility, counseling, Title IX, and other things like building emergency enclosures. All right, so that's the syllabus. Outline of topics is what you want to keep an eye on for what we're working on. And so as we go through and work with the course, Al has color-coded this, and so blue means that they are reading assignments, and green means they're drawing assignments, and red would be a quiz. And so for today, you're to read chapter 1 and 2, or at least for this week, and then to look at module 0 and module 1 to complete the drawing exercise. And then each week we'll cover what's assigned in the outline of topics. So next week we'll look at chapter 3 and 4, 6 and 7, 8 and 9, and then there's a quiz associated with each one. And we'll go through things like getting things set up in AutoCAD, draw commands, object snap, modify commands, viewing. We'll have a midterm at the end of October. We'll go through dimensioning, inquiry commands, like being able to calculate areas for like square footage if you're ever doing a floor plan and wanting to lay things out. Multi-view drawings, blocks, and then everything will come to an end December 12th. And so that'll be our end of class goal, to finish everything by that time. All right, back to the table of contents. VPN. If you have a problem accessing a computer, you can use the virtual private network. And so as long as you have an internet connection, you can access an Oakton computer using the VPN remote. And so what you do is you follow these outline to install the Global Protect software. You sign in just like you would sign in on an Oakton computer with your login and your password, and then it'll allow you to connect to an Oakton computer. And you can run AutoCAD, you can run anything that we have on the computer that you're connected to. So people will run robotic applications, they'll run programmable controllers, we can run Revit. I have one of the teachers who works remotely who will log in and run his SolidWorks using that. And what it'll allow you to do is connect to an Oakton computer and work remotely on an Oakton computer with all the software installed. Alrighty, back to the table of contents. But the fastest way to run the software is by having your own copy, and it is nice to have a student version. And so like we said, go to the student website and we will give you the instructions on how to install that software. And so download AutoCAD 2023 or 2022, install it per the instructions that we have in the main splash page video. So two ways to access the software. If you say, oh, I got to do my drawing assignments, my computer doesn't have AutoCAD on it yet, you can try the VPN and hook to an Oakton computer. The other way is to install the software, and if you need any help, you can bring your laptop into one of our student support sessions. Like Al and I are there on Sunday. We like to team teach. While I'm helping, Al can help you install the software, or vice versa. We have title blocks for the course, and we'll talk about this in a minute, but we'll be basically creating drawings for either mechanical or architectural, and then the title blocks are associated with those drawing assignments. And so we have a general design title block, which would just be widgets and just basic drawing shapes, geometries. Then we have a mechanical and an architectural, and that's what we try to cover. It's kind of a general design course. Pre-test, This is the first student assignment, and what you'll do is you'll go to the pretest, you'll put your name on it, the date, and then just fill out the information here. And this is information that you can find in the reading assignment, and it's also information that'll help us guide us through the course. And so what you'll do is you'll take the pretest, you'll fill that out. Let me download it. You'll fill that out. Sorry. And so we'll just do using a word processor, and you can just put your answers here. And then you can save it. You can save it as a Word file or a PDF. And it looks like mine's just going to go to downloads, which will be fine. Typically I'll tell people to put their name on it or their initials. We'll save that. And then the way you turn in this first assignment will be to go in the D2L under assignments, and this would be our pretest, and what we would do is to select that, and here's the criteria. Now for the pretest, it's just going to ask you if you've completed this work properly. We'll say add a file, and then we'll navigate to where it was located, and I put mine in my downloads, and so I just go to downloads here. Here's my student introduction pretest. Open that. You can see it's attached. I can add it, and then you can add information here like
we use it both ways, two different ways. To hand in assignments and also to hand in assignments for us to look at before we grade them. And all you have to do is say, hey, Joe, Al, don't grade it, see what I'm doing wrong, or if I did anything wrong, or etc. like that.
That's right. And you know, being virtual, this works really well because now we have documents that we can share. This is just a word processing file, but we also work with our CAD drawings. So back to the main splash page, you can see it says file submission successful. So as you submit things, you will get a confirmation email that lets you know that you turned it in. You can always ask us, you can always email us and say, hey Al, did you get my assignment? I sent it yesterday, and Al will get back to you as soon as he can and check that. Alright, back to our content area. So the pretest is important to show that you have accessed the course, and that is due on Sunday at 11:59 on September 24th. And that way you can remain in the course, demonstrating that you have accessed the course. All right. Al has some information here. You'll see he typically puts in little things like shortcuts, okay, just keyboard shortcuts that will help you. Years of experience here just helping build the courseware. Module 0 goes through the user interface. And so what we have in the modules is the course content. And what we want to do is teach. And so we will teach online at these Zoom meetings and go through these chapters, but every week, like in this Zoom video, we're just going to give you a 10 to 15, maybe 20 minutes for today on what to do for the week. And so every week you can go to the splash page and look at what's assigned, and we'll demonstrate it. And so in module 0 we go through, here's our PowerPoint, and this is the content. This is the area where we learn how to use AutoCAD. Our objectives for the course: being able to work in AutoCAD, being able to work with the interface, the terminology, things like the application menu, quick access toolbar, screen layout are in the PowerPoints. And so you can look at these PowerPoints, get an idea of what we're going to talk about, different ways to input, mousing, things like the arrows and how you access different commands, the quick access toolbar. And we talk about these things after the initial Zoom meeting. So in Module 0, we look at the AutoCAD interface. We have a video that goes through and talks and maps to those chapters. And so if I click on this video here,
with the commands, and if I progress through that, you'll see that all the words are there for.
So I'll go through things like how to work with the general design templates.
So it's just different ways.
And I map it to the textbook. And I realize this is a bit small. We don't have a big production group here yet, but you can kind of see I'm going through and I'm demonstrating step by step how the book works page by page. And so you can do this as well. It works well on 2 screens, which is typically, but if I need to make a videotape, I need to put them both on one. Alrighty. So we have the videos recorded for the chapter, and so here's chapter 1, and it's just my version of what's important, textbook orientated, and then chapter 2, here's the lecture for that. So in Module 0, we go through and we give you information on things like the chapter readings, setting up AutoCAD, working with the coordinate system, and then the pretest. And so Module 0 pretest is due Sunday 11:59. And then Module 1 is our first real drawing assignment. And so as we look at Module 1, we'll map it to the reading learning objectives. We'll look at coordinate systems, why we work in full size with AutoCAD, being able to start AutoCAD, different methods for entering commands like the mouse or the keyboard. And then as we go through, we'll pick up on these commands like working with snap, grid, ortho, polar. And so we like to map everything to the LOs, learning objectives. And then we have these basic plate drawings. And these are just things that Al and I have come up with our years of teaching. And so the first assignment will be to create these 5 drawing plates. And again, you know, we have PowerPoint information, and then we have a title block that you download, and then here's the drawing assignment. And so what you would do is you would download the title block, and then you would open it with AutoCAD, and see mine is mapped to my AutoCAD. It opens right here, and so here's my screen. And then what I would do, let me just go to one that's finished here. Here's a completed one. Is you will draw the different geometry on here. And we have a video for it. I'm going to turn on my menu bar. And so for example, in the videos, what we'll do is we'll go through and we'll show you things like how to get the interface set up, like this little arrow with the line on it. We could hide the menu bar. We can show the menu bar. And what that'll do is it'll give you access to the words that are used for commands. AutoCAD likes to use pictures for the commands, and so as you can see, polyline, circle, it's very graphically orientated. Older versions were more vocabulary orientated with words, and so we like to use a method of both to be able to go through and teach the course. And essentially what we'll do is we'll explain to you how to create these drawings. Like for example, in this drawing, if I want to go use let's go with layer 0, and I'll just go with a different color here. I'll use the line command, and I can draw lines.
Robert, can you just turn off your video, please?
Like that.
Thank you.
And so we'll draw these different objects, and we'll go through the interface. And so the first assignment is really just kind of a connect the dots kind of an exercise. And as we go through and learn to draw with AutoCAD, we'll learn how to use the mouse and panning. So I can like pan with the mouse, or I can change the display like this. And I'm just tracing over on what we have. But as you see, the mouse is moving. This is what's called snap. And so it's very accurate. I can create these lines and create this geometry. And then I'll put my name on the title block with the date. And the way the general design title block is set up, you just download the plate title block like I did here, and you can open it, and you'll get a blank screen like this. And so this is how we'll set this up, and then we just go to the line command and we can start by drawing lines.
And all you have to do is basically, each one of those lines are half inch. So you look at your drawing that was given to you in a PDF form and just copy over. You have to go over 3 lines this, 3 squares that, 3 up, etc. And on the bottom left-hand corner, you will have a triangle. See, Joe, on the bottom left-hand corner, you see the X and Y and Z all the way at the bottom, and it says, there it is. And it says title block 1, plate 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You don't have to download the plate all the time. All you have to do is download it once, and you have areas for 5 of your drawings set up ready to go.
It's like Excel where you can have multiple worksheets open. If you do the drawings on individual drawing pages, that's fine. As you get better with AutoCAD, though, you'll see that AutoCAD is kind of a total solution where you can create the drawings and then create the prints for creating like manufacturing assemblies or architectural drawings that have multi-page layouts. Alrighty.
Joe, also, by the way, go back to AutoCAD one more time, please, Joe.
Sure.
If you zoom on the bottom right-hand corner, anywhere, bottom right-hand corner there, please, where it says date and title and stuff, there we go. How he's doing it, he's holding the wheel down, and as he holds it down, the hand comes up to the pen, and you can move it left, right, corner, opposite, any way you want. The far right-hand side, you just pan also over there. There's a wheel there also at the same time. You can zoom in and zoom out with the wheel. Okay, but if you want to change it, let's see, you see the 2 axes, it says title. All you have to do is double click on it with there it is, highlight it, just like Microsoft, whatever else, and type in your first initial, last initial, and then on the bottom it says your name. Double click it there, highlight it again, type in the name, same with the date, and you can check, double click the date, and you're all set. Left click on the area up on top, recheck.
Now if they don't fit, you can highlight them and change the size if your name is longer, just as an FYI. Alright, so those are the plate title blocks.
Also, Joe, you want to explain to them, if you double click the wheel, if you zoom real close up, real tight, you zoom out real far, either way, and double click the wheel, then you double depress it, it brings it all the way up back up to you real quick.
Right. And so that's some of the things that we'll talk about after the recording of the Zoom meeting. But our first assignment is going to be to create these general design plates. And as you can see, I've drawn them on CAD. Okay, this is just sort of a geometry. And we'll go through and we'll show you how to use the CAD system for work, essentially. And so we'll start off with these basic plates using line commands. And then as we work with lines, we'll work with horizontal lines, vertical lines, different geometries. And then the 5th plate, we actually kind of get into working with different line types. And so you'll work with things like center lines, hidden lines, and this would be like a mechanical part where you would draw the side view and the front view. Alrighty, so first module, module 1, will be due Sunday, October 1st, 11:59, and will be these 5 drawing plates. There's a PowerPoint, here's the PDFs of each of the different assignments, and here's the video instructions for that. And so you can watch the video, and the video will walk you through on how to create that. You can open this in a new window. We like to use YouTube because it'll close caption things for us and everything like that. Sometimes we get some commercials in there, but if you do like the program, you can subscribe to our channel, and we basically go through and we talk about how to create these different drawings. Alrighty. Back to the D2L course shell, table of contents. And so as you can see, we've got the course organized. Module 0, 1, and Module 2 are available. Module 2 we'll go through and talk about next week, but we realize some students like to work ahead. So you can take a look and you can see what we'll be covering for Module 2. You can check the outline of topics. And again, we'll put videos, PowerPoints, and instructions for completing the architectural or the mechanical type work. Alrighty, back to the main splash page. Okay, so wrapping things up. As you work with this course, every week we'll have a Zoom classroom meeting on Tuesdays at 9 a.m. using this link. We'll post due dates in the calendar. If you have questions, you can email us using the D2L email, and we'll get this little orange bubble that'll tell us we have an email. You can download the software. There's the instructions. Here's our textbook information, and then here's our real person and virtual contact information. With that, I'm going to wrap this up. Al, is there anything else that we want to talk about before I stop the recording and post it?
Not at all. Did a great job.
Alrighty then. That ends our Zoom recording for this week. We'll post it in the announcements, and now we'll open things up for questions for our Zoom classroom.